the January 15th shooting in Tuscaloosa on the Alabama Strip, doesn't that feel like a year ago? For as much as we talked about it during the college basketball season, there's an update with the story of Darius Miles, of course, the former Alabama basketball player who has been in jail since the 15th, where he was charged with accomplice. He was charged as an accomplice in the capital murder charges where Jamia Harris was killed, a 23-year-old mother of a 5-year-old. He's denied bail for a second time, but his attorney was making the plea in front of the judge that the shooting was in self-defense. But I'm thinking about the text exchanges and everything, the litany of evidence that we went through, and thinking, how can you claim self-defense when you're the one who asked for the gun to be brought back to the scene, and then that gun was used in a murder?
Yeah, I mean, you're just saying I was threatened. The guy threatened me that was with her, and he was going to go get a gun. I thought he was getting a gun, told me he was getting a gun, so I had to get my protection in, and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there were multiple
this is
gunshots.
The legal defense team doing their job and looking at all possibilities and creating a case, but I don't think any of it is going to work. It does feel like a long time ago. When you get in this part of the year, though, it's weird because you look up and you say, how is it already almost June, yet January feels like a year ago, right? It can't be both ways, but it feels like January was a long time ago. But I'm also thinking, how is 2023 already halfway over?
It flies by.
Yeah.
And then the summer.
Such is life.
And then you have to hurry up and wait for football season. But in regards to Miles, the other evidence, which is on camera, is he moves his girlfriend and another person out of the way just prior to the shooting. And that was pointed out by the lead prosecutor in Tuscaloosa. So, denied bail. Darius Miles.
He's going to jail for a long time. This is the part of the story that normally it just fades away. I mean, the story was obviously the key thing is the murder, and we don't want to lose sight of that. But the story from our perspective in the sports world was Alabama's handling or lack thereof with Brandon Miller and everything that went on after the fact. Well, now that Brandon Miller's gone, it's not as big of a story anymore. And this is one where months later, when they have the trial and everything goes down, we're going to see headlines of everyone was convicted and they're going to face sentencing at some point, right? It all kind of goes away until the verdict comes down at this point.
Davey?
The other thing I wanted to say about this case is it's just another bad look for Alabama PR. I don't know if you guys saw who actually was in attendance for this hearing, but both Quinterly brothers and Noah Gurley showed up, and Javon Quinterly gave a statement talking about how, Darius Miles was a family man.
Yeah.
Speaking on behalf of wanting the bail granted before the trial.
If you're Nate Oates, you maybe make a phone call, be like, hey, guys, let's not attend this. He's not going anywhere. You can talk to Darius later on. He's going to be in jail for a long time if you want to show support.
This is what sort of disgusts me about all this, though, is Nate Oates is going to turn that into a positive.
Yeah,
because he's going to say, we are a family. I treat these kids like my own sons. Look at this. I've got their brothers are there, front row in the hearing when they killed someone, supporting them still. Second chances. They're there supporting each other. This is the type of family atmosphere I foster here at Alabama basketball. They're going to twist this, and he's going to twist it into a recruiting move.
Oates kicked him off the team quickly.
Yeah. But, I mean, you see what I'm saying? His players that are still there or were a part of the team that stayed throughout the year, they're there on their former teammates' behalf. But Nate Oates can then go on the recruiting trail, and if someone asks about it, that's how he's going to spin it. He's not going to say, Davey's right. They should have said, hey, maybe let's not go to the hearing if you're going to be a part of the program. Don't do that. But what he's going to spin it as is, these guys just love and support each other so much. Look at this. Dude killed a guy. Killed a woman.
Yeah.
Killed a woman. Sorry, not a guy. Killed a woman. And they're there to support him. That's what he's going to do. That's what we're going to get into Georgia here soon. At what level does it actually affect your bottom line? Bottom line being wins and losses. When you talk about off-field problems. We've seen programs cycle through this that have had a lot of on-field or on-court success and have had off-field issues, and it feels like eventually it always catches up to you, but it may take time. I think of Florida football with Urban Meyer. Now, they won 2 national titles before it caught up to them.
Yeah.
But it caught up to them to the point where, he's faking a heart attack after a loss because he's got to get out because the program's crumbling beneath him so he can go somewhere else. It eventually catches up. Will it catch up with Nate Oates in Alabama? Will it catch up with Georgia? We don't know. We don't know when that's going to happen.
What they're trying to do is catch up with those racing in Athens. There's a push to have more severe penalties for reckless driving and speeding racing there. It's across the state, apparently. And Athens Clark County Police arrested Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. This was on Tuesday afternoon. He's a senior wide receiver for Georgia, for speeding maximum limit and reckless driving. He was released on bail, which was $2,000, just shortly after he was arrested there. But, I mean, you mentioned the litany of issues. There is a number of players that have been arrested at Georgia in just recent months. You don't have to go back to the football season. You can just go back for the last 6 months and look at the numbers. And it's plaguing the off-the-field headlines for sure since Georgia won that national title, their second in a row.
Are we ready to do this? Are we ready to premiere?
Well, yeah, because it's
what could be the fastest-growing game show?
We're tying in Stetson Bennett, who apparently didn't graduate after attending college for 6 years, multiple schools, but 6 years of college, and tying in the number of arrests off the field for the Georgia program. Davey Hutton has arrested or graduated.
Well, this is a very clever idea from Davey. This is a spin-off also of something I used to play on Trivia Trifecta back in the day. Game show I invented.
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive. And it's a very hard game to play. I challenge you to play it with your friends at home. Just pick someone, Google them, see if they're dead or alive that's a little bit older, and then just throw a name at someone and ask them, dead or alive, and if they're alive, try to give an age. Always very difficult. Davey has spun this into a sports-themed University of Georgia football, arrested or graduated, Davey. And I think this is going to be very difficult to play.
I'm looking forward to it, and that's the great thing you mentioned, Chad. I mean, those playing at home, you're more than welcome to tag along. Just shout it at your phone if you're watching there, at the TV, laptop, whatever it may be. But I'm just going to throw out a name, and this is a player on Georgia's roster within the last year. And you tell us whether they graduated or were arrested.
Okay.
Stetson Bennett. No, neither. Well, no, both. Oh, no, one or the other one. Sorry, arrested, not graduated. Yeah. That would be an example of it. If we said it, it would be arrested, not graduated for Stetson Bennett.
Start us off. Chad Lindbergh.
Oh, well, you start off with a Chad. That's never a good place to start. Chad Lindbergh, I know from experience. Never start with a Chad. Hutton, I feel like
his name sounds like a college graduate to me.
Yeah, many would argue that just having the name
Lindbergh.
Chad should lead to an arrest. Just with that first name.
Maybe it's both. Are there can there be answers for both?
Yes, but there's only one. I'll just go ahead and tell you that.
All right,
Okay. This isn't the one. I feel like you're telling us this isn't the one.
I'm
Is that
going
a
to
hint you're giving
say
us?
graduated.
I'm leaning arrested, but Hutton, we've got to agree on it. I'll go.
I would have said Stetson Bennett graduated too.
I'm not going hard here either way, so I'm going to go with you. Let's graduated.
Hey, congratulations, guys.
Chad Lindbergh.
Congratulations on the diploma
Finance
that no one will ever
degree.
ask for.
So, offensive lineman, congrats
by the
to
way.
him.
O-lineman?
O-lineman, yep. Next guy on our list.
That song was 2000. I know that was the year I graduated high school. They made that graduation song just for my graduating class. Thank you very much. Very important song in my life. So thank you for that, Colin.
Next up, Javon Bullard.
I know the name. He played.
I know.
Right, I feel like he was a good player, so I don't know if I know. This is why it's hard. I don't know if I know the name because he was a really good player on a team full of great players, or because he was arrested and I saw his.
I mean, I guess you could ask for a
name and a
hint. I
headline.
can give you like a position, or if he did something notable.
I'm
going to
say graduated.
You should make up what the arrest was for. Like just say a crime, and then we'll have to guess whether or not he's guilty
maximum
of it.
limit.
Well, I mean, they're all associated around speeding. We're just Georgia football we're talking about.
I think this is another. I think Davey's trying to throw us off. I think we got 2 graduations in a row. I think he graduated.
Final answer.
Oh.
Yep. Javon Bullard, you might remember him. He was the defensive MVP of the Peach Bowl, and he was arrested for DUI.
So we are 1 for 2 now. 1 for 2 on this game.
We'll just keep it going right along. a name most all of you will know. Nolan Smith.
He was arrested. I know that. He's one of the headlines.
Really? I thought he was just known as just good, solid citizen, solid dude. All right, I'm going to go with you. You were quick to give that answer, Hutton.
He was arrested.
Nolan Smith arrested. Final answer.
Yeah, that he was. The outside linebacker faced charges of speeding in a construction zone, 89 miles per hour in a 55. He was able to not have to face too much, but again, just Georgia speeding.
Yeah, so he was. I knew that because he's listed with the Jalen Carter controversy from the combine. But the 89 and a 55, I mean that he doesn't deserve to be on this list. But I guess arrested. He should just be ticketed.
That's reckless. 89 and 55 is pretty
especially
extreme.
when it's a construction zone.
I'll also say that it's
Speed
crazy.
trap.
You want to talk about an illustration of having a problem, is that a guy as good as Nolan Smith, that was a highly regarded NFL draft pick, his name comes up, and I don't have any idea because I feel like everyone on the team has been arrested at some point. And I don't even remember if he was arrested or not. That's not good. It should be like a guy that good, right away, he was arrested.
I do think that they're cracking down on the racing. I'm being serious. That's why so many are being arrested for the speeding charges. I mean, Chad, back in our day, you were just ticketed.
Yeah.
You came over the hill going to high school. I'm in a school zone, the 20-mile-per-hour school zone going 70, and I was ticketed. And I had more community service than the guy that had pot in his locker that day.
Yeah, or someone who beat somebody up outside of a bar in your town.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Davey.
We have Warren Brinson.
Warren Brinson. We have Chad Lindbergh and Warren Brinson. I'm loving these names. I'm going to say Warren graduated. I hate to go I've guessed graduated 3 straight times, and I've been right once.
Matt, are you keeping score over there?
I think he graduated.
Keeping score?
I want this to be graduated.
Matt's
but
not listening to our show right now.
The whole premise of this is
he's listening to a
trending
podcast
towards
about
arrested.
Ronald Reagan right now.
So I'm going with arrested just because I think now if I'm taking a test, I'm gonna just randomly put C as my answer for everything. I think if we just go with arrested as the answer, we're gonna ace this test.
All right, I'm gonna go with Hutton. Hutton's been more accurate than me. Let's go arrested. Final answer.
Yeah.
That he was. The defensive lineman charged with 2 misdemeanors, a simple battery for firing a pellet gun at 3 people on a sidewalk near a UGA dorm.
Pellet guns, there were actual guns at Florida under Urban Meyer at one point with Aaron Hernandez, but I do feel like there was a pellet gun or paint gun issue that went down at a frat house at Florida also. Maybe all these SEC football stories are blending together at this point, and it's just one conglomeration of all of these incidents that I'm putting together in my mind, but I feel like that was a problem there. We're batting .750 right now. We are 3 for 4 in this exercise.
No matter what you say, Davey, the answer is arrested.
Ra Thomas.
Arrested.
Absolutely arrested.
I mean, we're crushing it now.
Yep.
Was he arrested in Starkville? I know he transferred from Starkville or Georgia.
I don't remember the exact location, but it was.
I think he got on campus and got
misdemeanor
arrested.
battery family violence issue.
For rah-rah?
Yeah. So that one's.
That one deserves to be on the list for arrested. Yeah. So far, we got a pellet gun shooting and speeding in a construction zone. That's also on the list.
Next up, we got Tyke Smith.
Tyke Smith. Hutton, I think we just keep going. Let's ride it out until we miss. This is like take till you get a strike when the pitcher's wild. We got to go arrested. Arrested, final answer.
Arrested. Oh, congratulations, Tyke Smith.
Tyke, good job. What was his degree in?
Sociology.
Okay. That is a common athlete major. The other one, like every school has like the major that most of the athletes will be in. At Vanderbilt, they have human and organizational development is one of them. Funny enough, at Tennessee, it was my major, sport management, that a lot of the football players would be in. So that was me also. And my name's Chad, like Chad Lindbergh, but he graduated and was not arrested. What's up next?
Next up, I mean, you guys already know this one. It was mentioned at the beginning, Stetson Bennett, but I did want to come on. I actually did a hit a while back, and I was making fun of Stetson Bennett for not getting his degree. A couple of people came at me. I would like to say that they're like, oh, what have you ever done? And what I would say, if you add up Stetson Bennett's national championships and diplomas, and you add up my national championships and diplomas, we're both walking away knotted up at 2. But if you subtract the point for his arrest, I view myself on top. So that's where we're at for Stetson.
Davey, that's the easiest answer ever when someone asks, what have you done? I graduated college, unlike Stetson Bennett. That's just the response every single time.
I'm telling you guys, you have to work and try to not graduate.
You
in 6
really
years.
do.
And he changed his major. That's exactly what happened. And
Is he trying to prove a point that college education is overrated? Is this a stance that he's taking?
I think he did this to work his way to stay in college. He's Van Wilder of the football program.
But he still could have just timed it up where, okay, I'll take my degree now at the very end of it and stayed in college.
Dude's
going to
have a statue built in his honor and constructed. And they're
is
probably going to give him
though,
an honorary doctorate.
It'll be hilarious if they make him – I'd like to follow the documentary where they make Stetson Bennett have to go back for a year to get his degree in order to give him a statue.
Yeah, I mean, for all it could be one volleyball class that he could be short one credit.
It could be a semester, absolutely. But I'm saying there may come a day where they're like, we can't do this unless you're an alum. If you didn't graduate, we don't give this honor of a building named after you or a statue or this and that. And they have to force Stetson Bennett to go complete his degree.
I like the premise, but unfortunately, it took 41 years before they won their title, and Stetson Bennett was the quarterback that just won back-to-back.
Well, Kirby Smart will be getting a statue as a Georgia grad before Stetson Bennett. But when they erect one of him, he may have to finish that volleyball coaching class that he's got to do to complete his degree. Davey, what's next?
Yeah, we got 4 more guys next up on the list. Ladd McConkey.
Ladd McConkey, good player, was arrested. I don't think he's graduated yet.
I'm going arrested.
I'm going to go arrested also. Wow. We've missed the last 2.
Finance. Chad got his degree in finance, but so did Ladd. So there we go there, yep.
Finance. He's going to help Stetson Bennett with all
Chad,
that money.
do you wish your name was Ladd instead of Chad?
It'd be far superior to Chad. At least it would be a discussion point. The name Chad, I feel bad even ordering a coffee somewhere and telling them my name. They're like, oh, of course. Yeah, you're a Chad. Good job. Good job. Good job, your parents.
You didn't control it. Yeah, you didn't control it.
Yeah, what were your parents thinking? I'm like, ma'am, it was the early 80s. Lay off them, please.
Next we have William Mote. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's M-O-T-E, if that rings a bell for anyone else. I could be saying it improperly.
Was he on scholarship? Can I ask this question as a follow-up? Or was he a walk-on?
I believe he was on scholarship.
He definitely graduated if he's a walk-on.
I believe he was on scholarship, but don't quote me on
I'm going to say graduated.
Graduated. Final answer.
Welcome to graduation. You are under arrest.
Oh, both.
Both, yeah. It's a trick question. I got you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a long snapper.
Was he arrested at graduation?
Before or after the ceremony?
It would have been before. He ended up let's see. This would have been in January of 2022. Arrested for criminal damage to a property for destroying a window at a downtown Athens law office.
Wow.
Damaged an office at okay.
This probably
window.
won't come as a shock, but he was intoxicated while this happened.
Yeah, so this was something next to a bar downtown, and he broke a window.
At a law office.
Yeah. I actually have a similar story to this. I just wasn't caught. When I was about 24, I would refer to it as horseplay. Me and a buddy leaving a bar were like shoving each other, playing like we were fighting. And I shoved him a little too hard, and he went through a plate glass window in downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue, and we just took off running. It was a construction project.
Which strip club was that?
And well, the strip club would have been open, and it would have been a problem, right? Like the bouncer would have come out. It was an empty office building facade where they were putting in new glass or something, and it was under construction. And it was 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and he went right through it. And you just heard, I mean, it was the loudest sound in the world when this, ceiling to floor glass just the glass is coming down, cascading.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme song.
If we had the Stone Cold, that would be amazing. We can play that right now. Sounded just like that, but it went on for like 20 seconds, it felt like, as the glass just fell from the ceiling. And we just took off running.
The glass shatters and everyone just turns around.
And I remember this was like mid-aughts. So we're thinking, are there street cameras that are going to get us and arrest us after the fact for that? Vandalism? Nope. Never happened. And I think the statute of limitations are up now, hopefully.
All right, guys, 2 more fly through these. Jalen Carter.
Arrested. And?
Pretty simple. Dominic Blaylock.
Arrested. I believe I remember this one.
Okay, I'll go with
arrested.
you. You were certain on that.
Oh, of course.
I wanted to end on a good note. They've had 9 players get arrested since their first national championship, so they've been through the ringer.
Perception is reality. And I'm good. Some of these are speeding, others are not. Some of these are speeding that you're racing and there's loss of life, and you're claiming you weren't at the scene. But at some point, don't you have to corral everyone together and say, "Hey, what's going on here, and why do we keep doing this?"
Yeah, two things can be true, right? You're a really good football team. You've won 2 national championships in a row. Very
Going
talented.
for a third, yeah.
Sending a bunch of guys to the NFL, and maybe stop getting arrested. I mean, Kirby Smart's got to look around and look in the mirror and say, we've got an awful lot of guys in the police blotter. Let's maybe cool that and reevaluate who we're bringing to the program and what they're doing when they get here, so we don't have so many guys arrested. That was the purpose of this game, to teach that lesson. We hope that we taught you well.